bought this pack for £12 online. It's a low Alpine Fuse 20. It's a 20 litre backpack. I didn't buy it for world camping. I bought it as a pack for going into central London with. When I got it, what I saw was it has all these points on it. All these sort of toggle tie-up points. And then I installed this bungee system where it's just a 2mm bungee cord from Amazon, just a basic one. And I laced it through to create a kind of an outside pocket, if you like. It even has the tie-up points here on the bottom as well, where you can attach stuff. And also on the shoulder straps, it has a larger one here, and then several smaller ones further down. And of course I was looking at it and thinking, oh, I wonder if we could load it up for a world camp. Is it possible? On a bag, it cost me £12 on sale. Really, this was just something of curiosity. Oh yeah, I mentioned as well, it's got a walking pole holder and it comes with this toggle attachment so you can tighten it up. And the back of it is just got a little bit of padding, so there's some support. I mean, it's not much, but there's something in there. So there's like a little bit of support. And the inside is just a pocket, which is reasonable size. And then that's it, it's just a tube. And it's a slight V shape to it. But you know, it's one of those things where I'm not really doing this seriously. It was more of just a, oh, I wonder whether it could work or not. So I thought I'll try it and see, can I do like a stripped down load for this bag, which would be for a one-nighter and probably in reasonable conditions and not going too high up. So I instantly thought of my lightest weight quilt, Lanshan 1 tent and so on and things like that. I'm just keeping the kind of loadout but basic. Right, so the first thing I'm going to put into this bag is this, which is my Extherm. It's the Max, the square or rectangular one, I should say, not square. Square sleeping mat would be useless. Right, so I'm folding it. I don't use the bags for a lot of the things. I tend to fold them into shapes that fit my pack. And I found that just a simple square like this was good. So I'm going to shove that in, and that goes down to the bottom. The goal for me was to put in a dry bag to keep other stuff that I'm going to put in dry, obviously. But I also wanted to kind of cram everything into one bag that I could then mould around to the shape of the backpack. The first thing that's going in is this quilt. It is the Mountain Equipment Helium quilt, and it's rated for 5 degrees for a good night's sleep. It weighs about 500 grams, which is around just over a pound in weight. And I've used it at 5 degrees and below. I've used it down to 0. I think the 5 degrees good night sleep rating that Mountain Equipment give it is actually spot on. So obviously you'd want to be wearing a thermal base layer. I just for this would wear just the top. And yeah, I think that's good. I think that will work. So let's put that into the sleeping bag. Like I said, this is all going to get compressed down quite a lot because normally I don't like to compress things too much, but in this instance, with a smaller pack, I'll have to compress it fairly hard to get it in. Okay, the next thing to go in is my down jacket. I'm quite a big guy, so my down jacket's quite large, so you might have an easier time with that. But that will go in too. I always take a down jacket because if you take a bag that's light, let's say not quite for the temperature rating that you're going to, let's say like this quilt is for 5 degrees and you think it's going to be about 5, but when you get there and you're at slightly higher altitude, it's like 2 degrees, you can sleep in your down jacket and that will change things and transforms it. So let's stick this in. Okay, pillow, it's the Trekology Aleph 2 with the bungee bit or elastic that keeps it next to the mat for you, keeps it onto the mat, stops it from sliding around. I'll make that kind of flattish and stick that in. And the other thing that will go into here is my base layer. Now I just wear underwear with this personally. For the kind of conditions that this is going to be, I would probably just bring the top. You could add the bottoms in as well if you want to. I'm not really fussed with that for this. Yeah, so that's the top. So now that's everything that's going to go into my dry bag. What I'll do is I'll just go and compress this down now, so that'll take a minute, and then we'll stick it into the backpack. Right, so I've compressed that down, and the reason I'm using a dry bag for this is obviously to keep everything dry, but I can reshape it slightly afterwards to a shape that I think will fit the bag better. So I'm just narrowing it slightly at the bottom, do you see, to fit the shape of the pack. And now the sleeping mat that I put in there will stay against the back of the pack, right close to my back, and then this will slide in over it. That's the theory anyway, so let's do that. And I can feel now, using my hands, that it's filling out all the spaces in there. Now I'll try to show you how much space is left. I'll show you how much space is left, you can see. So we've got a reasonable little bit of space left there. Right, let's continue to pack it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pack a few things into this pocket here, and that will be my spork, my head torch, and water filter. To keep those things at the top. Oh, and microfiber cloth as well. Okay. So that gives me a few things. That's just the sort of stuff that I'd like to have up there at that point. I've got the Anchor 5000 just for an overnighter like that, with power cables for my phone and for my head torch and camera if I need it. It's just one cable for the camera and the head torch and one cable for the phone. I'm going to stick that in. Cook system, which is the Soto Riverport, Soto Windmaster, gas canister, and base stand as well to give it support. That goes in. And the other thing to put in is my first aid kit with toiletries. So that's going to go, that's a reasonable amount of stuff in there. So that's all in. Now I've got space left over at the top still. I'll try and show you. Yeah, I've still got space left over. I've still got to do my tent, but I don't think I'm gonna put that on the inside. I think I'm gonna attach that to the outside. Well, I'll have to attach it to the outside. This space here for me will be for food and water. My water bottle, which I'm just gonna do it as a dry weight at the moment. And now I've got a pocket here still where I can put food. I could, in theory, take another 2 litre water bottle, like a collapsible one, if I want to. Maybe I'll just shove that down there. And there's space for 1 night's worth of food there. Now we've got to attach the tent still, so let's do the draw cord up on this. But there's a decent amount of space still left over there, which I'm quite happy with. Now the closing system on the backpack is like a draw cord at the top, and then this strap that goes over the top, which gives you a flap here, which covers the hole. Now one thing I'll say I'm not happy with on the pack is that hole is still exposed slightly at the top. That flap doesn't really cover it. You could obviously just add a rain cover to this anyway, which you probably would do. I don't think the pack's waterproof, so you'll probably add like a rain cover or something. Just a very lightweight rain cover. As you can see, there's definitely space to add something like that. But let's get the tent in. Right, so that's the tent there. I'll show you how I'm going to attach this. I tried this earlier and it works really well. And this is the Lanshan one. It's the 2021 version, the new one, which is larger. It's not the Pro. It's got the 4-season inner, which I prefer. I don't want, it's just not me. The single skin tent thing isn't for me. I like to have the sort of draft exclusion. Yeah, I live in the UK, so a summer tent isn't a thing really. It may be for a couple of weeks in the year, but I probably won't be going wild camping on those weeks anyway. I'll be with people I care about. Let me show you. So these straps on the Lanchan. So what I'm doing here is if you can see that, I'm sliding the strap, the top strap, and part of that flap through the strap on the Lanchan, and then I'm going through the second strap as well to secure it, and then that attaches. So that just goes on top. And it's stable. And that gets that on. And then I've got my pocket on the back which I've made to stick my waterproof jacket. Okay, so in the warmer months for me, it's just a waterproof jacket on a non-summit camp, which is what I'd use this for. More like as a windproof rather than a rain. I mean, you can check the forecast and see if it's going to rain or not, but this will keep you okay in a little bit of rain, and it gives you some windproofing as well. I like sticking it on the outside because if it does get wet, it can drip dry, but it just makes it like super accessible. I don't then have to take the tent off the back to get to waterproofs. It's just there. So my waterproof jacket. Look, I know this is a basic setup, but I've done it, haven't I? I think I've got away with it. So the weight of this without food and water, should we weigh it and see what it is? I think it'd be interesting to find out. There we go, 4.9 kilograms. So we've kind of done it. We've taken a backpack that cost me £12.99, a 20 litre pack, which has got some nice features on the outside, attached some bungee cord to it, and turned it into a pack that can be used for a one-night wild camp. And it's worked. So I've put it on, I've tried to see how it balances, and I think it was fine. Would you use something like this? Maybe you would, maybe you wouldn't, but I thought it was quite fun to try it out. Anyway, give me a thumbs up, like and subscribe, that would be great, it means a lot to me. And I'll catch you again in the next video. Take care, bye bye.